Ah, there's a bug in my drink and I'm still drinking it. Wiser words were never spoken by a Summerhouse guest. Lindsay, aka Doris, has sugar baby dreams and says, F love, I just want to be comfortable. Carl is coming in hot as a silver fox in heat and in search of Bailey or anyone to take his mind off of the disappointing conversation he had with Kyle. But I think that he has been in heat for anybody since the start of the show. And Amanda washing the geriatric suit off of Kyle's face was really touching. I can't lie.
Maybe in the last time they touched each other, who knows?
The last time I saw your face.
Last time we get this close to one.
Exact.
Because as we all know, things have changed since that episode aired. So the episode was filled with a pressure cooker of relationship breakdowns, financial stress, and emotional misalignment. The main storyline is clear. It's Kyle and Amanda unraveling in real time, while the rest of the house reflects on other stages of relationships like love, avoidance, and self-awareness.
It's definitely one of the most emotionally provocative and exhausting shows to watch. I felt it was very surreal because we're watching it backwards in real time.
Yes.
So much to get into. Oh my goodness.
Let's get into it.
Let's go. Girl, Summerhouse, Summerhouse, Summerhouse.
Woo! Okay, so can I ask you something?
Please do.
Is it different now watching Summerhouse now that we know the current state of events with Amanda, West, Ciara, and Kyle?
Yes, I started watching this season in a cringe state, and now I'm watching it in an even more cringier state, most times with my hand over my face as I'm taking notes on the computer. Like, what am I watching? Yes, it's definitely a different experience, and the joy has been taken out of watching it, to be honest with you, because we already know how this is going to end. And I will say, I know this sounds bad, but I'm kind of appreciative of the clarity that we received over the last week because now Kyle makes a lot of sense to me. And I'm wondering, and I was wondering if you were wondering this, so I'm glad we haven't even talked about it. We're getting in here raw, so this is going to be
At
more of
all.
a raw response. We have
Ye-
not talked at all about this, but were you thinking that maybe in retrospect, Kyle's inability to find his words, you're not talking to me, I don't feel, do you think that he sensed all along that something was odd? Because on that New York street the other day when he was talking to that gentleman on the street who was interviewing him,
Mhm.
I think he referenced, yeah, I think I saw some things and I just,
Yeah. He said the timeline was iffy to him as well as us. And he himself doesn't even know the correct timeline and that he had to go back and check some things. So I have found Wes's involvement in Amanda and Kyle's relationship strange, right? And there was this nagging feeling before we found out what we found out that this is weird. This is strange. And it started with the hot dog on the beach. And this episode is another example. And if we didn't know what we knew, something that I would find strange, such as, why is Wes going so hard for Amanda all of a sudden? It's like, when did you guys become so close? Why are you calling her baby? You guys are hugging for like minutes.
it's
What
kind
is
it's
going
kind of
on?
random, the all of a sudden support that he had for her. And I think I would have just taken it like, okay, he's being a good friend. That's how I took it before all this broke. Okay, he's being a good friend and he's had enough. And yet I thought, who is West to be giving advice to anybody about how to move
Right?
a relationship when you haven't even had a successful relationship for more than 1 minute with anybody? Like, who are you to step in and tell somebody how to show up in their marriage when you're so afraid of, man, don't even get me started. I cannot.
And it seemed like
Cannot.
he was being an overprotective boyfriend to Amanda. That's what it seems like to me. I think that they hooked up before this day.
And I
I
believe the fans.
really do. No, no, no. We're both so excited because it's like we're seeing cheating possibly happen in real time.
Yes, and I believe you're absolutely correct, and I believe that both of our point of views are reflected in the fan base. You know, one thing I did want to respond to, I want to get your take on this, is obviously everybody's in shock. Team Ciara, this is reminiscent of an Ariana experience, although there's a lot of debate about that. That's a whole different show to talk about. But regardless, as a female viewer, we are reactive to betrayal and the kind of betrayal that Ciara is experiencing. And so it makes sense that she was going to receive this outpouring of support, and many of us have
Mhm.
been there before, so we get it. But I also want to respond to the fact, and Kyle's concern that he echoed, that no one has really checked in about his experience. And I don't think it's okay for the fan base to be dismissive of Kyle's experience in this. Some are saying, well, he wasn't even really friends with Wes, so why should he be?
It's still wrong. No, I thought I was the only human being in the world that was worried about Kyle. And I commented something about that and I got like 300 likes. So I was like, okay, me, you, and 300 people
Yeah.
care about Kyle.
Yes. And,
No, I'm hurt for him. In all seriousness, my heart breaks for Kyle.
my heart breaks for him too. And it doesn't matter if he knew Wes 5 minutes or, 5 years. And obviously he's known him long enough. They spent time in the house together. I believe he actually showed up for Wes in his early days, giving him support and advice, and in Wes's relentless pursuit of Ciara. So the fact of the matter is, they've eaten together. They laughed together. They've gotten drunk together. There is some semblance of friendship there. And he has every right to feel betrayed by that and betrayed by his wife. And this is a man that is already emotionally fragile. I can't imagine what this feels like for him. But at the same time, at least the Band-Aid is off. It has to be a little bit gratifying to know that he wasn't insane in his mind, thinking that Amanda has left the building. Now he at least knows why.
And he's even used the word flirting with other guys this episode. He said, instead of flirting with these other guys, why don't they tell you, hey, Amanda, why don't you go back and hang out with your husband? And I was like, yes, okay? Because you shouldn't be talking about your husband so negatively behind his back. That was my first, like, what is going on here? Amanda's a horrible life moment. That was like the first moment that I was like, she doesn't know how to be married. And I saw little instances over the years of just, she seems selfish to me. And it must be weird for Kyle because male friends usually don't look at each other's wives like that, you know? And there's this whole can men and women really be friends conversation. And I feel like Amanda's the type of girl that took us all back. And now it's like, oh, I guess we really can't be friends,
Well, I don't think we
Amanda.
should let Amanda speak to our ability to put boundaries in place.
Right. I mean,
I don't think
as a
she.
married woman, I would never, like,
Mm,
come on.
yeah.
One of his friends? And then she said she wouldn't herself, so
Makes me wonder what came first. Was it her disappointment in Kyle that led to her pursuit of West? And who knows what other men are buried under some rock that we don't know about?
yes.
Who knows? Because she seems pretty comfortable
Yeah.
going outside the marital arrangement. Or did Kyle's disappointment in Amanda come first? Like, what came first? I guess at
It's
this point
hard to say.
it doesn't really matter, but that's kind of what came up for me. That withstanding, I gotta say, I gotta give it up to Summerhouse. The geriatric party was the best party that I've seen that they have ever thrown, next to the bed
Yeah.
rug party, in the history of the show. And I just want to give it up to them. It was such a fun watch. Maya and Sierra, Lindsay, or sorry, Doris, and even Amanda, y'all rock that. Like, the whole cast showed up for that show. I got to give it up to Carl. I know many people think he's cringy, but I like Carl, and he was really rocking the silver fox look. He didn't
He's
go too much.
sweet.
Yeah, he's very sweet. Yeah, I'm a fan of Carl.
Always.
What did you think about Carl addressing the soft bar issue with Kyle?
I loved it. I said, finally, I'm glad he's putting his cards on the table. It's how the show first started. They were sitting on those reclining chairs as two old men talking about
I
their
love it.
businesses.
Yeah.
And I liked that finally Kyle was transparent with Carl. Carl said that he didn't realize how bad Loverboy was doing. And Kyle finally told him that we're about to be in bankruptcy. It's $3 million a loss. Like, I'm about to lose the company. And he basically told him, I do not have the money to invest. I would, I just don't have the money. Do you feel like that was genuine?
I do feel like it was genuine. I don't think Carl heard what he needed to hear to feel satisfied with that answer because, then he's upstairs looking for Bailey or any woman to take his mind off of the fact that he didn't get the answer or the support or encouragement that he needed. I'm wondering if it would have been better if Kyle was more proactive on the front end and said, "Hey, I know that you rode hard for me with Loverboy. I know that you invested so many thousands of dollars into the brand and, even came on as a partner. And I am so sorry. My financial liabilities do not allow me at this time to show up for you in that way, the way I want to." But Kyle not addressing it front on. And again, we said this, I think, in prior episodes. Kyle doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have the best relationship with taking accountability sometimes, I think, you know.
Not all the time, no.
Yeah. So I think that would have been better, and it would have been nice if he said, "Man, I should have, talked to you about this straight on,
Yeah.
but so much has been thrown at me, and I was selfish." That would have made Carl a little bit more receptive to what he heard in that conversation.
No, I agree because he didn't say the words, I'm sorry. And he didn't straight up say, if I had the money, I would invest. I'm sorry and explain because Kyle said he wasn't happy with that conversation.
Yeah.
He said something about how he feels like Kyle always gets away with everything and everything's finally like coming to a head and Kyle's going to possibly break down. I don't know how he hasn't already.
I think it's coming. One of the things I picked up with Kyle early on in this show, and if you get past the first season and the major blunder he did with Stassi and how he was just forever a frat boy and just very unbearable to watch, underneath it all, he does have a heart.
Absolutely.
Kyle really got my attention when Ciara and Maya, some seasons back, first brought up the difficulties and the experiences that they've had being Black women in the Hamptons, and Kyle was the first one, who gave his support, wholehearted support. He didn't take that conversation and say, "Oh, yeah, but I don't do this." Well, right. Like he handled it very maturely. And I was like, oh, wow. Him and
Yeah.
Carl both, the entire cast, really. So I was like, okay, he has my attention. So I think that underneath all of that, he is immensely loyal. And I think we're seeing his loyalty show up for Amanda, even when he doesn't have to be.
Good point. Nobody would blame Kyle if he just decided to leave her in this time or make a bad statement about her, but he is so supportive.
Right.
It shocked me.
So much to get to. I wanted to get to these highlights, but since we're in the Kyle and Amanda, but all, let's just stay with that. We can end with the highlights. So what was confusing to me, and I'm sure you would agree with me on this as well as the audience, is that, and it was just kind of a mind shift for me. I had to really dial into what I was watching. You have Kyle and Wes discussing Amanda, and then you have Sierra, Lindsay, and Mia discussing Kyle with Amanda.
Yeah.
Now, Wes comes across as a sincere friend. He's giving the best advice, and it was weird. Because if not for the situation, you would think that Wes was showing up as a friend and really trying to support Kyle to apologizing, which it took Kyle
Right.
forever to apologize. And I have to believe that that was so much, how when you've done something really wrong and you're so ashamed and you want to say sorry and you should say sorry, but even saying sorry, you feel ashamed in that. So I'm wondering if that's what was prolonging it. But he was able to get Kyle to express remorse and open up and say how frustrated he was that he is isolated consistently from Amanda's life. And then the person that's isolating, who's the person who's responsible
Right?
for isolating Amanda in part, is giving him advice. I could not compute. I could not.
Wes, how could you? This is too far. You're boning your homie's wife. We could say boning. We could say
Hi, Mom.
oh, sorry, mom. Well, there's a lot of words I could have used, so pat on the back. That is your homie's wife. Okay. You stay away from that. And then you have the nerve to give a married man relationship advice while crushing on Amanda? Like,
It was so
Wes,
utterly
you are
confusing.
heartless, dude. Heartless.
Heart.
Heartless. I'm
Heartless.
sorry. Where is your soul?
It was so weird to watch.
It was. Knowing what we know now, it's like, oh my God. I just wanted to hide. It's like, and for Kyle to have to see this, oh, he
And
must wanna,
it's like,
yeah.
who appointed you Kat to save Amanda? Who appointed you? Like, why all of a sudden now? Like, it was just really kind of weird. But I have to say that conversation that Amanda was having with her girls, I gotta be honest with you, that was so touching. All of them in a circle of
Yeah.
support. And Ciara being the primary spokesperson, the advocate, saying, hey, you should consciously separate for a little bit and figure out if this is working for you or what's not working, and maybe you'll get together and maybe you won't. Giving this advice, and in real time, these two are having an affair. Like, I could not compute.
I know.
Compute.
Ciara even said, Amanda, you could stay with me in my apartment. If you need a break, just come over. You could stay with me. And Mia said, yeah, we'll help you. You deserve to be helped. Really? Amanda, you couldn't, like, maybe after this weekend, like, finally come clean or something? Because word on the street is she only let her know a couple days before the announcement. A couple weeks would have been nice.
At first sight would have been better. At
Yeah.
first
Or
sight.
not doing it, maybe, would have been the best.
Right. Hey, Kat, just to let you know, don't know how this happened, but I'm finding myself attracted to your boyfriend.
That's never happened to me before. I don't know what I would do. I swear to God.
You'd appreciate it a lot more than finding out on page 6.
Oh my God, that they actually hooked up, of course.
Yes. So
Yeah.
it was a wild dynamic to watch, and it was also sad because, man, having your girlfriends, having that sister circle, is so affirming in life when your sister circle really gets you and they rally
Hmm.
around. And notice not one of them said anything bad about Kyle. They weren't
Yeah.
bashing him. They were like empowering her to make a decision that was good for her and good for the relationship if there was one to be salvaged. What a wonderful soft space to land. You have 3 soft spaces to land with this friend group who
Yeah.
rallied around, took a moment out of that fabulous party to support you, to be a safe space where your tears could land. And you screwed it all up and you dismissed it, and knowing full well, sitting in that, knowing full well what you were doing, knowing full well. I'm sorry. Why am I so heated this morning?
It's effed up. And I don't know who she has anymore because I don't think Paige is going to want to hang out with her. And I heard some rumors that she was touchy with Craig, as I'm sure the audience may know. So today I actually heard more rumors that Paige was mad at Amanda because she was so touchy-feely with Craig. Yep. There was like a hand-holding moment. And then Amanda commented on it and she said, we were just scared, something like that. So we didn't know what to do. So we held hands under the table. It is the touchy feeliness of
Wait, who's
Amanda
holding
is
hands under the table?
wild.
Who's holding hands on the table?
Craig and Amanda. And Kyle is so tolerant.
What?
Like, because I'm married. Like, this is a tolerance I don't have. Like, I could never see that and just be like, that's all good. He's just holding my friend's hand. It's fine.
Okay. Okay, Amanda. I want to give you grace because, and I don't want to attack you. I know we both kind of went hard in the paint just now because this is the visceral reaction that we had.
Sorry.
But if you were sitting here in front of me, I'd ask you, sis, what's wrong? What is going on in here
Yes.
that makes you so blind and immune to the hurt that you have caused? Like, you're a smart, intelligent woman that comes from a very fine Jersey family, I believe, who clearly have raised you well, but you're having a moment. What is going on, sis? What can we do?
What can we
Literally,
do?
this is deep. This is really deep. Like, now it's not just Ciara that's collateral damage in your insecurity, your emotional insecurity. Now Paige is collateral damage. Hats off to Paige for keeping that quiet because I hadn't heard that.
Right?
What's wrong? What needs to happen? I think she just needs to sit with herself long enough and figure what's good for Amanda and make amends to everyone, to the cast, because their jobs are on the line now, to
Yeah.
Ciara, to all of it. But you've got to heal yourself. You've got to heal yourself because this is a track record that ain't good.
Completely agree with you on that. Like, what is really wrong with her? And I have wanted to ask so many times, like, is she okay?
I don't think
Because
so.
it doesn't seem that way.
Yeah, and that's why I don't wanna keep, like, rehashing a lot of this because I don't wanna fall into the trope that a lot of the fans have right now where they're just being so mean and I think they are probably experiencing the same visceral reaction that we have, but at the end of the day, what is going on, what's going on, Amanda? Like,
It's got to be something.
what's really going on inside here? Let's take everybody out. What's when you sit with yourself at night, what's going on?
Yeah. Something is up with her and her marriage. I don't know if it stems from the fact that she feels like she's just alone in this marriage, because I'm not understanding.
No, take marriage
You
out
don't think
of
it's
the
the
equation.
Kyle
No,
situation?
what's going on with her
Hmm.
where she just openly and blatantly chooses to cross boundaries with her friend's love interest?
Right.
There's something going on with that. Yeah, your marriage is completely a big part of this, but aside from that, there's a lot of women going through difficult marriages as we speak right now in this minute. And I would be very surprised if any of them are thinking about, who's whose husband in the friend group am I gonna get with today? Whose husband in the friend group am I gonna hold hands with? Whose husband in the
Which
friend
one of
group?
his friends can I you get with?
Yeah, like who? Let me ask you a question.
Who are his closest friends? Let me make a list. No. That's how you don't get a good settlement. Like, that is you don't do things like that.
So you know how there's some chatter about, and I haven't seen this, I've just heard it by happenstance that Ciara should not she shouldn't feel bad about this. She shouldn't have the same kind of sympathy or empathy that, for example, Ariana got. This isn't the same thing. The betrayal is betrayal. I didn't know that there was a
Yeah.
competition, but apparently there's a competition.
And I don't see why we need to
What
make
is
it a
that about?
competition.
What is that about? I don't get it.
Well, when the whole scandal of it all happened, I always wondered, this is going to sound so, I don't know, but I've always wondered if this was a Black woman, would she be getting the same sympathy and empathy? And I wondered that because there was another reality show that I used to watch where the wife got cheated on by her husband, but she really didn't get any sympathy. So I saw the two differences in this, but one was on Bravo and one wasn't on Bravo. So I was like, okay, maybe this is just Bravo fans. But now it's happening again with Ciara. So I have to ask, why did Ariana get so much sympathy? But neither Kyle nor Ciara are really getting that much sympathy.
Yeah, I don't think I mean, I think they both deserve empathy and sympathy. I think it's both unilaterally screwed up. One, to deal with betrayal of your spouse or your person, and two, to deal with betrayal that was caused by someone in your friend group. Like, I mean, um, I tell you this, I tell you this, if it was Ciara that did this to Amanda, Amanda would get all kinds of outpouring of sympathy
She
and
already is.
right. And both of them, it's sad for both of them, really. I mean, because clearly Amanda is struggling with something that's internal apart from her marriage, but and some of you listening, I know you're like, "Oh my god, there they go. They're talking about race again." Yeah, we're talking about race again because it's a real dynamic that shows up in Bravo and now it's becoming more and more transparent. And guess what? It's not Black people that are talking about race. There's other demographics that are saying, "Yeah, this is a thing. There's
It
something going
seems
on here."
off. I'm not a Black woman,
Yeah.
but
I
it
mean,
seems so off to me.
Seems very off.
And like I said, I always wondered if Ariana wasn't a blonde-haired, like, blue-eyed Caucasian woman, would she get the same empathy? I always wondered that.
Yeah. So moving from what we already know is the thing, this is going to already affect the future of that franchise. I mean, this
Mhm.
decision point affects so many. This decision point between Amanda and West, it has a domino effect on so many things related to the show. Apart from Summerhouse as a franchise, maybe no longer, which I would really hate to see it go. I don't know how it's going to affect the city.
Yep.
If Summerhouse as a franchise is not here, then that affects jobs of the crew and the producers and the writers and all of that. And also the new cast who came on as hopefuls.
Yes.
I personally think that Summerhouse should stay as a franchise and rebrand it and repackage it and let uh Jesse, and maybe bring in Ben and maybe bring in a couple of other men and a couple of other, women carry the show. I don't think we need to see any more parties though. I'd like to see it
No
continue.
more theme parties?
I'm kind of over it. I'd like to see it continue,
That's what I was saying.
right? I'm over it. I'm over the
I'm
theme parties.
over it.
I'd like to see it continue, but repackaged with an entirely different cast, and let's move into the city because honestly, the Summer House cast to me is most interesting when they're in New York.
I loved the idea of the city. I could
Me
not
too.
agree more. And if I can't see Lindsay and Kyle, I am going to be pissed at Amanda. Because if one person could ruin the city, I don't want to. I hope they didn't film yet. That's what I'm worried about. If they already started filming some fake scenes with Amanda pretending that she still cares about Kyle, then it's going to be a wash. But I think they need to cut Amanda out and let's keep Lindsay's storyline. Kyle could date. Maybe Amanda doesn't need to be on it, or maybe it's more exciting if she is on it, but
Yeah.
they would have to be honest, she and Wes. I don't know. I don't know if Bravo would bring them
Yes,
on.
it actually started filming, in the fall of
Ugh.
last year, 2025, and it wrapped early this year,
Okay, well,
just
that's
before Bravo
horrible.
Con. Yeah. So I love what you said, and if I could be like a casting person and I casted the city, I would love to know what your takes are, but I would love to see Lindsay, Sierra. I like Mia.
Me and her boyfriend are a cute storyline
Yeah.
because he's always traveling, but he does have a restaurant in New York.
Yes.
So that would be great
And
if we
I'd
could
like
get
to
her on the show.
I know that this isn't going to happen because Paige and Hannah have a new show coming out on top of their podcast, but I would
Yeah.
love Paige, Hannah to be brought in. Who would be interesting, and I don't know if people still track for her, but I do, is Olivia Palermo. I
Oh
think she's
my
got,
God, from the hills.
and let's bring in some baddies, who are
Yeah.
really taking New York by storm. And on the men's side, I'd like to see Kyle. And I want to see Amanda on the show. You know why? Because I want to see Amanda's journey of healing on her own terms without a relationship.
I think if Amanda was going to be on the show, we may have to include Wes because she's going to have to break up with him or he's going to have to break up with her or something
Oh, that
on
relationship is not gonna
air.
that relationship is gonna break up probably
I
r
wonder if she's mad about all the rumors of, him being with other women.
I'm pretty sure she probably went into it knowing that that's what he was doing. I don't think she went into this with, any hopes of, like, running off into the sunset together, you know?
Let's hope not,
I mean,
you know?
Wes is who he is, he is who he is, and he's an incredible flirt that seeks female validation at all times, doesn't matter who it's from, so, anyway,
Yeah.
and I'd like to see Kyle and Carl doing their thing. Take the old cast, put them in the city, bring in
Yes.
some new players, repackage Summer House, and let's go.
And I think we could do without Real Housewives of New York even. And just if they really want one of those people on that show, they could take them out, put them in the city, and that's it. But I don't think we need any of those ladies.
Well, see, the Real Housewives of New York, I think, is good as well because it's a different demographic and it's a different lens of women doing their thing in New York. So I think both franchises could be true, especially if Bravo is trying to get that younger demographic to really tune in. I think that's where the city could be very strong.
That's a good point. They did it really well in Next Gen NYC. That did so well.
Oh, that was a great show. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that was a
And that's
really,
another
really good
demographic.
show.
So you have 3 different, you have your young,
Gen
your young and up
Z.
and coming
Yeah.
adults. You have your 30 somethings that have really made, they're on their way to making it. And then you have your Roni cast where these women are established and they're married and they're, you know, doing life from that more mature lens. You know what I have a feeling is going to happen though?
What?
Don't be surprised if this brings Amanda and Kyle back together.
People are saying that.
Are they
No
really?
way. You think? Oh my
I think this has
God.
happened in marriages. You've had people that have done divorce and they've gotten married twice,
That,
No,
yeah, that happened with Stacy on Potomac.
well,
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not
If
mad at it
I'm
either.
not mad at it as long as she stops cheating, then that's she's gonna have to stop that part.
Well, the thing about it is that it was so touching watching them on the bed, both sloppy drunks, and I'm saying that affectionately, and she's wiping the geriatric suit off of his face
Yeah.
and undressing him and taking his shoes off, and they are finally having an honest moment. And I walked away thinking, there's love there. There's a
There is
friendship
love
and there's love
there.
there, but there's some demon in herself that she's fighting that she needs to work through, and Kyle needs to work himself out as well. And the both of them together are really two codependent, kind of miserable adults together, and their
Yeah.
marriage was just never going to work because they were both unhealed.
Do you think that they ever went to couples therapy?
Now's a good time to start.
It
Now's a good time to start.
would be so cute if they did get back together. I do love when couples get back
I do
together.
too.
I just don't know if the trust is there, but hopefully.
And you know what? And I got to tell you something. Sometimes, I mean, what do you think? Do you think that she was kind of, if you're in a bad marriage and you're not feeling supported, neither of them are feeling supported, she was kind of maybe lusting after this fantasy of the sexy single girl life that Paige is living so beautifully.
Yeah.
Lindsay is empowered in living that life. Ciara is living that life, that she kind of wanted a bit of that herself.
I do think it influenced her, absolutely. I think Paige, for sure. And then I think a lot of these conversations telling her you should get separated, you should leave him. I think she's influenced by a lot of outside noise.
Yeah. Here to tell you, Amanda, there's nothing out there. If you've ever gone out and to a restaurant or a lounge or something and you just leave your ears open to some of the side conversations that happen to the left and the right of you, where men are just shooting their shot, trying to, like, for
Yeah.
lack of a better word, trying to get to next base, if you will. And just the whole rigmarole of that. I heard a woman recently talking about, like, I'm single. When am I going to meet somebody? And she seemed like a lovely person, lovely inside and out. And she might have been in her mid 30s or so. There's a lot of women in that who are sexy and they're single, but that is not as provocative as you think. It's only provocative if you're Lindsay, who knows who she is, and she's consciously choosing, I don't want love, I want comfortability. I'm
Yeah.
gonna live my life the best way. When you realize that conscious choice, then it's sexy, but, otherwise, it's tough out there.
And the grass is not always greener. Like, it's not always when you're married. And I think a lot of the problem too is that she was 24 when they got together. So I don't think she had that single
Yeah,
girl life,
yeah,
of like
yeah,
having her own place and
yeah,
dating.
yeah. I think
I
you're
think that
probably
has a lot
right.
to do with it.
I think it has a lot to do with it. And to your point, you're right. The grass is not always greener because every grass has to be watered. It all turns brown at some point,
Yes.
depending on the kind of grass that you buy. Maybe it's St. Augustine or whatever, depending on the weather. At some point, that grass is going to become brown. It needs to be mowed. Like, all grass needs to be tender.
That is
Tender your
good.
grass at home.
Yeah, no, I love that. And marriage is hard. There's a reason why they say marriage is hard work because it's not fun all the time, but You got to put in the work. Every man is going to have problems.
Every man is gonna have problems. Yeah, but on to lighter things before we close out.
Yeah,
I just love Dara and KJ.
me too. They're so cute together. I
Really,
hope it's real. And I hope some people online were saying they don't think Dara's genuine, but I hope she is. And they look like a really cute couple to me.
see, this is
So
why I
I'm
don't read
rooting for
comments
these
online.
two.
This is why I don't read comments online for that
I
very,
know, right? They put things in your head.
very rarely do I read these comments online. I'll see a headline and think, okay. But because of this, no, let these two figure their stuff out. You know, they have Amanda and Kyle as a case study, so clearly they know what not to do.
Oh, yeah.
Let them figure themselves out. I think KJ is such a wonderful soul inside and out, and Dara is meeting that energy, and let them do what they do. Okay. The other person that is super impressive to me is Ben from Down Under.
Because of his new girlfriend?
His prior girlfriend that
Yeah,
he kind of got freaked out by when she said, I loved you so fast. And now all he can do is think about her. He can't even connect with anybody in that house, not even Sierra. He can't, I mean, he
right?
knows that she's a baddie and loves talking to her as a friend. And I love that dynamic so much that
Yeah.
beautiful people can meet each other where they're at and just keep it as friends. But the fact that he is so focused on wanting to spend time with her was so touching to me.
Me too. I loved when he said, I can only think about Sabrina. And then he told us that story in the beginning of the season. And now still, Ben is thinking about Sabrina. So it's the fact that she did agree to go with him to Lindsay's fabulous apartment housewarming was perfection. And I love seeing Ben and KJ with their girlfriends. I was like, please double date. This would be so cute. I want them and Mia and her boyfriend to all go on like a triple date.
Yes.
It
Yes.
will be so fun to watch
And
that.
I wanna go to Sierra's house, in North Carolina and have some catfish.
Yes. Can we come? I want Ciara to invite the cast over, and I want to see everybody go to her house once it's renovated.
Says so much about her that she saved for that house, watched it go on the market, bought that house, and is renovating it for family legacy. You go, girl.
Generational wealth. Good for
You
you,
can't
Ciara.
you can't tell me anything bad about Sierra. Nobody better tell me anything bad about Sierra.
Nothing. She said, "This is the house that raised me."
This is the house that raised me,
That was powerful. I have goosebumps.
and this is the show that has evolved you.
And this situation can only evolve you. You're only going to
Oh, yeah.
get
She's
better.
gonna win. She's winning already. She's
Every
winning already.
heartbreak only makes a woman better, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we end it too, Lindsay, your apartment is gorgeous. I don't know if she rents or owns. Let's hope it's owned. So that would be amazing.
I believe she owns it,
That would
but
be
sis, I
amazing.
gotta tell you, the piano had me downstairs trying to figure out how do I get my mother's baby grand piano in my house?
I know. It was so fabulous that she had an actual pianist there.
Yeah.
My God. And then it was like the hors d'oeuvres were being passed out. She had private chef. Bravo, Lindsay.
Bravo, Lindsay. We said a lot today. I want to just take us out with this that Summerhouse, as we're experiencing it, even though we're watching it in a very surreal, backwards motion kind of way, is a great cast because all of them, for the most part, are friends. And you really got that they were friends when they sat down and shared a meal together. I love how they all eat together.
Me too.
And they joke like family, they support like family, they cry like family, they fight like family. And I would like to just say that bravo, well done on this cast, especially this new cast that you have. And I hope that you pick your cameras back up and let us see how Amanda and Kyle and Sierra evolve from this terrible emotional tragedy that they're all going through. If anything, it's a cry for help. I'm going to choose to look at it this way that Amanda has a cry for help to figure out her way out of this marriage, but also figure out the personal hell that she personally goes through as Amanda day in and day out. And
Right.
West, well, anyway, you have any words?
I don't know if we need West. I don't know if we need West, but I would love to see the
Go West,
moment
West.
that Kyle found out that I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is an entertainment podcast, and I'm an entertainment fan. And as much as this did hurt Kyle, and yes, Amanda, I guess, because she's going through something, she definitely is. I want to see these conversations on a camera. I can't help it, you guys.
Tell me more about Amanda, I guess.
Oh, no, I was just being funny because we both said that she's going through something, but
Oh,
then I
okay.
was like, in quotes, I guess, because in a way we can't forgive her for what she did to Ciara, but then in a way we know she's kind of like divorced and losing her mind potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because she can't see herself as like a single woman and she's freaking out. I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but I hope the city still happens because Lindsay is a strong, independent woman. And I would love to see her navigate that.
Yeah. In terms of me personally forgiving Amanda, I'm not tied to her any kind of way. I'm just like kind of
Hmm.
interpreting what I see. As being Sierra, rather, is a very solid human being and is very clear about where loyalties now lie. I think she'll probably, being the woman that she is, will forgive her because forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is
Hmm.
for yourself so that you can move on to the next phase of your life. So I do see forgiveness coming down the line, but friendship, that's probably never going to happen.
There's no more trust.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Okay.
it has been a day. A time has been had. I can't wait for our next pod on Rhode Island. But
Can't
until
wait.
then, you guys, thanks for listening. This podcast has been a Layered Media Works production, executive produced by our favorite producer, Barbara Bonds of Bonds Creative, and co produced by RS of Rude Moon Media, with our expert social media management by our resident co host, Catherine Basiji. Be sure to listen to us wherever you get your podcasts, and for ad-free VIP content, hey, check out our Patreon, okay? It's $1.99 listening, exclusive interviews that we have coming up. You know, we have David Yontef coming up. We have someone from the Vanderpump Rules universe who's coming up as a guest on our show, and you're going to only be able to listen to that on Patreon. Kat,
Until next time, guys.
until next time, we'll see you on this other side. The Good Edit, where reality TV meets humanity.
Bye.
Bye.